Imagine a morning like any other. The sun rises over an ancient world where giants walk beneath skies older than memory itself. A world where footsteps shake the earth and wings the size of airplanes cast shadows across endless forests. This is Earth, 66 million years ago. The dinosaurs have ruled for 160 million years. They are invincible. They are eternal. But in less than one day, they will all be gone. This is the story of the worst day in the history of life. The day a mountain fell from space. The day the sky caught fire. The day the world ended and was born again. Follow one family's final hours and discover how their extinction became our beginning. Meet Scarface, that's what we'll call her. She's a female triceratops about 25 years old, with a distinctive scar across her right frill from a battle years ago. She leads a herd of 14 through the lush forests of what will one day be called Montana. Her youngest calf, only 6 months old, stays close to her side, learning to strip bark from trees to recognize which plants are safe to eat. Scarface has survived droughts. She survived attacks from Tyrannosaurus packs. She survived the death of 2 previous calves. She is a survivor. Evolution has spent millions of years perfecting her design, the armored frill, the massive horns, the bulk that makes her nearly impossible to kill. This morning, she leads her herd to a river to drink. The water is cool and clear. Her calf splashes playfully while the adults keep watch. In the trees above, a Quetzalcoatlus glides silently, searching for fish. Further upstream, a young T-Rex drinks cautiously, eyeing the Triceratops herd, but knowing better than to attack. This is the Cretaceous period at its peak. The climate is warm, 75 degrees on average. There are no ice caps anywhere on Earth. Flowers bloom in colors that won't exist again for millions of years. The air is thick with oxygen, with life, with possibility. But 60 miles above the atmosphere, invisible to every creature below, something approaches. A rock 6 miles wide, traveling at 45,000 miles per hour. It has been falling toward Earth for millions of years, pulled by gravity across the solar system. The dinosaurs cannot see it. They cannot imagine it. They are simply living, as their ancestors have lived for longer than mountains have stood. In 47 minutes, none of that will matter. What you're about to witness is minute-by-minute reconstruction based on decades of scientific evidence. Every detail is real. Every moment happened. The clock starts now. 11:47 a.m. local time. The asteroid hits the shallow sea off the Yucatan coast at a 60-degree angle, the worst possible trajectory for life on Earth. It doesn't slow down when it hits water. It punches through the ocean in less than a second, vaporizes the seafloor, and penetrates 2 miles into the Earth's crust before its kinetic energy transforms into heat. The temperature at impact reaches 10 million degrees, hotter than the surface of the sun. Rock doesn't melt. It vaporizes into superheated plasma that explodes upward faster than sound itself. The impact releases the energy of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs in a single instant. 800 miles away, Scarface is grazing peacefully when the world lurches sideways. The ground doesn't shake. It moves like a liquid, rolling in waves beneath her feet. She stumbles. Her calf falls. Ancient trees snap like twigs and crash around them. The river suddenly reverses direction, water sloshing back and forth violently. She makes a distress call, a deep, resonant sound that carries for miles. Her herd answers, confused, frightened. They cluster together instinctively, the adults forming a protective circle around the young. The earthquake lasts for 3 full minutes. Magnitude 11. Strong enough to be felt on the other side of the planet. Then, as suddenly as it started, the shaking stops. For 10 seconds, there is absolute silence. Even the insects stop buzzing. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. Scarface raises her massive head, testing the air, trying to understand what just happened. Then the sky begins to glow. The thermal pulse arrives. Infrared radiation from the vaporized rock travels at the speed of light, reaching across thousands of miles in seconds. For one terrible moment, the sky becomes a broiler, emitting heat intense enough to ignite anything exposed. Scarface's thick hide protects her from the worst of it, but she feels her back suddenly burning, smoking. Her calf screams, a sound she's never heard it make before. The exposed skin on the young one's back is blistering, burning. She instinctively moves to shade her calf with her massive body, pressing it beneath her armored bulk. Around her, the forest begins to smoke. Leaves curl and blacken. Dry wood bursts into flame. In the distance, she hears sounds she doesn't understand. The screams of hundreds of animals dying simultaneously, the roar of fire spreading through the canopy, the crash of burning trees falling. The sky has turned from blue to orange to a sickening yellow-brown, and then the wind hits. The blast wave arrives, supersonic wind carrying pulverized rock, vaporized ocean, and superheated air. It flattens everything in its path. Trees that survived the thermal pulse are now torn from the ground and hurled like spears. Smaller dinosaurs are picked up and thrown. Even Scarface, weighing 6 tons, is pushed backward, her feet digging furrows in the ground as she tries to stand firm. She keeps her body over her calf, shielding it from the debris-filled wind. Rocks and burning wood slam into her armored frill. One of her horns cracks. She's bleeding from dozens of wounds, but she doesn't move. Every instinct she has says, "Protect the young." The wind lasts for 5 minutes, then gradually subsides. When it finally stops, Scarface slowly raises her head to survey the damage. The forest is gone. Every tree within sight has been flattened or is burning. The ground is covered in ash and debris. The sky, if it can even be called a sky anymore, is black with smoke, illuminated from below by 1,000 fires. Her herd is scattered. She can see 4 other adults nearby, dazed and injured. She can hear others calling in the distance. She counts silently, instinctively. 14 went into the forest this morning. Now she counts only 9. Her calf is still alive, huddled beneath her, whimpering. She nudges it gently, checking for injuries. Burns, yes. Bruises, certainly. But alive. She makes a gathering call, low and urgent. The surviving members of her herd slowly converge, limping, bleeding, but responding to her leadership. They gather in a small clearing, pressing close together, seeking comfort in proximity. None of them understand what happened. All they know is that the world has suddenly become hostile, dangerous, incomprehensible. Scarface's instincts tell her to move, to find water, to find food, to find safety. But which direction is safe? Everything smells like smoke and death. She makes a decision. She begins walking north, away from the worst of the fires. Her herd follows. They don't know they're walking toward their deaths. The ejecta begins to fall. Millions of tons of rock, blasted into space by the impact, are now re-entering the atmosphere at supersonic speeds. Each piece becomes a meteor, burning and radiating heat as it falls. The sky fills with shooting stars, not a few per minute, but millions per second, covering the entire visible dome from horizon to horizon. The heat is unbearable. The air temperature rises to hundreds of degrees. Scarface's herd has found a small cave, barely large enough for half of them, but it's something. The largest adults stay outside, their bodies shielding the younger ones pressed into the cave entrance. Outside, the world is on fire again. The re-entering debris ignites everything the first thermal pulse missed. Wet jungles thousands of miles away burst into flame. Grasslands explode. Even the ground itself seems to be burning. Inside the cave, Scarface stands at the entrance, her calf pressed against her legs. The heat is terrible. Her calf is panting, its tongue hanging out, desperately trying to cool itself. She remembers, dimly, a similar heat from her youth, a forest fire, natural, caused by lightning. But that fire moved. It could be escaped. This fire is everywhere, all at once, inescapable. One of the older adults, weakened by injuries and heat stress, collapses. Its breathing becomes shallow, then stops. The others barely notice. They're all struggling to breathe, struggling to think, struggling to survive moment by moment. The sky glows red, then white, then settles into a deep, angry orange. The temperature peaks at over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, slowly, it begins to drop. The falling debris has settled. The fires still burn, but the intense heat from above has stopped. Scarface cautiously emerges from the cave. The world outside is unrecognizable. Where there was once a lush forest, there is now a scorched wasteland. Smoke rises from countless fires. The sky is completely obscured by a thick layer of ash and smoke. Even though it's midday, it looks like dusk. The sun is invisible. Her herd emerges behind her. 7 adults remain. 3 calves, including hers. 10 out of the original 14. She needs to find water. The river they drank from this morning, was it really just this morning? Is too far away now. But there was a pond, she remembers, about a mile east. If they can reach it before nightfall, they begin walking. The ground is hot beneath their feet. Ash falls like gray snow, coating everything, making it hard to see, hard to breathe. Scarface breathes through her mouth, filtering the air as best she can. They pass dozens of corpses. A pack of dromaeosaurs caught in the open, burned to death. A young hadrosaur crushed under a fallen tree. An ankylosaurus, its armored body intact but its lungs destroyed by superheated air. Death is everywhere. They reach the pond after an hour of walking, but the pond is gone, evaporated by the heat, leaving only a muddy depression. Scarface digs with her front feet, hoping to find water beneath the surface. She finds only dry, hot earth. Her calf makes a small, plaintive sound. Thirsty. Hurting. Scared. She has no answer. No comfort to give except her presence. As the sky continues to darken, the temperature begins to drop rapidly. Within an hour, it falls 40 degrees. The animals that survived the heat are now facing the cold. Scarface huddles with her herd as night falls, or what might be night. It's impossible to tell anymore. The darkness is absolute, broken only by the distant glow of fires. She wraps her body around her calf, sharing what warmth she can. Around her, the other adults do the same. None of them sleep. The temperature has dropped below 50 degrees, cold for animals adapted to tropical warmth. Scarface's calf is shivering uncontrollably. Its breathing is labored, wheezing. The ash in the air has irritated its lungs. Every breath is painful. She tries to clean its wounds with her tongue, an instinctive gesture of care, but the wounds are beyond simple comfort. Burns are blistering. Some are infected already. Around her, her herd is suffering. One of the adults, an old male who has been with the herd for years, is lying on his side, breathing shallowly. His eyes are glazed. By morning he will be dead. The sky is still completely dark. No stars are visible. No moon. Just smoke and ash and darkness. And then it begins to rain. At first, Scarface feels relief. Rain means water. Water means survival. She tilts her head back, opening her mouth to catch the drops. But this rain burns. It's acid rain, formed from the sulfur dioxide released by vaporized gypsum at the impact site. It stings her tongue, burns her throat. Her calf cries out as the rain hits its burned skin. The pain is excruciating. Scarface moves them back under an overhanging rock, seeking shelter once again. But there is no shelter from what's happening. The air itself is poison. The water is poison. The ground is covered in toxic ash. They are trapped in a dying world with no escape. It's night now. True night. Though the darkness is no deeper than it was at noon. The temperature has dropped below freezing in some areas. Ice forms on the ash-covered ground. Animals designed for tropical warmth experience cold they have no biological mechanism to handle. Scarface's calf is dying. She knows it with the certainty that only a mother can have. Its breathing is too shallow. Its body is too cold. Its heartbeat, which she can feel when she presses her head against its chest, is too slow. She nudges it, trying to make it stand. It can't. Its legs won't support it anymore. She makes a sound. Not a call, not a roar. Just a low, mournful vocalization that carries no meaning except grief. The other adults in her herd gather close, forming a circle around the dying calf. It's unclear if they understand what's happening, or if they're simply following instinct, but their presence creates a small island of shared body heat in the freezing darkness. The calf lives through the night, but only barely. By dawn, or what should be dawn, but the sky remains dark, it has stopped breathing. Scarface stands over its body for a long time. She nudges it repeatedly, some part of her refusing to accept what she knows is true. Finally, she makes a decision. She cannot carry the body. She cannot bury it. She can only leave it. She makes a call to her herd. 7 adults now. 2 surviving calves. They begin walking again, leaving the small body behind in the ash. Scarface doesn't look back. 24 hours have passed. The world is frozen in twilight. The ash layer is so thick that only 1% of sunlight reaches the surface. Plants have stopped photosynthesizing. Within days, they will begin to die. Scarface's herd has found nothing. No water. No food. No other survivors. Just endless ash, endless smoke, endless cold. They're all starving now. Triceratops needs to eat hundreds of pounds of vegetation per day. None of them has eaten in 24 hours. Their bodies are already beginning to consume themselves, burning fat reserves, then muscle. One of the surviving calves, not from Scarface's bloodline, but she has protected it as if it were her own, collapses mid-walk and doesn't get up. Its mother tries to make it stand, nudges it, vocalizes desperately, but the calf is gone. 6 adults, 1 calf. They keep walking because stopping means death. But walking also means death, just slower. By nightfall of the second day, another adult has died. Simply laid down and never got up again. Exhaustion, starvation, despair. It's impossible to say which finally killed it. 5 adults, 1 calf. 7 days have passed, and Scarface is alone. The other adults died over the last few days, one by one. The final calf died yesterday. And now she walks through a dead world, the last survivor of her herd, perhaps the last Triceratops alive anywhere. She's not looking for anything anymore. She's not trying to find water or food or shelter. She's just walking because stopping means accepting the end, and something deep in her biology refuses to accept that. Her body is skeletal. Every rib is visible beneath her thick hide. Her eyes are sunken. Her breathing is shallow and labored. The cold doesn't bother her anymore because she can barely feel anything. She passes thousands of corpses. Other Triceratops, hadrosaurs, ankylosaurs, even a Tyrannosaurus lying on its side, its massive jaws frozen open in a final roar. The age of giants is over. On the 8th day, Scarface reaches a frozen river. She tries to break through the ice to reach the water below, but she no longer has the strength. She makes several attempts, her front feet scraping weakly at the surface, but it's useless. She stands there for a long time, looking at her reflection in the ice, a scarred, broken shadow of what she once was. Then she lies down. She doesn't intend to give up. She just needs to rest for a moment. Just a moment. But her body has reached its limit. Her heart, which has beaten steadily for 25 years through every challenge evolution prepared her for, begins to slow. She thinks of her calf. If thinks is the right word. If dinosaurs have memories the way we understand them. Some pattern of neurons fires, some echo of what was important. Then the pattern fades. Scarface's eyes close. Her breathing stops. The last Triceratops of Montana dies in silence, alone, on a frozen river in a world that no longer has a place for her kind. 75 million years from now, paleontologists will find her skeleton. They will catalog every bone, measure every dimension, reconstruct her life from forensic evidence. They will even notice the old scar on her frill and will speculate about what battle caused it. They will give her a catalog number, SMNH 142. But her real name was Scarface, and she was a survivor until she couldn't survive anymore. 30 days after the asteroid struck, the extinction is complete. Every dinosaur weighing more than 50 pounds is dead. The tyrannosaurs are gone. The triceratops are gone. The hadrosaurs, the ankylosaurs, the sauropods, all extinct. The pterosaurs have vanished from the skies. The marine reptiles have disappeared from the oceans. 160 million years of evolution, thousands of species, billions of individual animals, erased in 1 month. The Earth is locked in an impact winter. Snow falls in tropical regions. Ice forms on the equator. The temperature has dropped 40 degrees below normal and will stay that way for years. But life persists. In underground burrows, small mammals emerge cautiously. They are rat-sized, fuzzy, with large eyes adapted for nocturnal hunting. For 160 million years, they lived in the shadow of giants. Always prey, never predator, always small. Now the giants are gone. A small mammal, let's call her Eve, because in a sense she is the mother of us all, ventures into the ash-covered landscape. She finds the body of a young hadrosaur and begins to feed. The meat is frozen, preserved by the cold, and it will sustain her family for weeks. She doesn't know it, but her descendants will inherit the earth. They will grow larger. They will diversify. They will evolve into thousands of species, some that run, some that fly, some that swim, some that burrow. And 66 million years from now, one of those descendants will stand upright, will develop language, will build cities, will split the atom, will go to the moon. One of those descendants will discover Scarface's skeleton and will tell her story. But that's far in the future. Right now, Eve is just trying to survive the winter. And she will. 365 days after the asteroid struck, the Earth begins to heal. The ash is settling. Sunlight, dim but real, reaches the surface again. The temperature is rising slowly. Ice melts. Rivers flow. And life, that stubborn, incredible force, begins to return. Ferns sprout from spores that survived buried in the soil. Within months, a carpet of green covers the gray wasteland. Scientists millions of years in the future will find this layer in the rock and will call it the fern spike, proof that life came back. The survivors emerge into this new world. Mammals, no longer constrained by giant predators, begin to explore and diversify. Birds, freed from competition with pterosaurs, spread into empty niches. Crocodiles and turtles, largely unchanged, continue their ancient existence. The impact crater, now filled with water, has become a feature of the landscape. Sediment slowly buries it, hides it, transforms it into just another part of the geology. But it's there. It will always be there. 66 million years from now, scientists will drill into it and will find shocked quartz, melted rock, iridium from space, irrefutable evidence of the day everything changed. They will call it the Chicxulub crater, and they will realize that without it, they wouldn't exist. Let me tell you why this matters. The dinosaurs didn't fail. They didn't lose some evolutionary competition. They didn't make mistakes. They were perfectly adapted, supremely successful, the most dominant group of animals ever to walk the earth, and none of it mattered when a rock fell from space. This is the uncomfortable truth. Dominance is temporary. Success is fragile. The universe doesn't care about your evolutionary achievements. The dinosaurs ruled for 160 million years. We've been here for 300,000. Our civilization is 10,000 years old. We are infants compared to the giants we replaced. And yet we face our own asteroids, not from space, but of our own making. Climate change could reshape our world as completely as the impact reshaped the Cretaceous. Nuclear weapons could create our own impact winter. Engineered pathogens could trigger our own mass extinction. The difference is that Scarface couldn't see her extinction coming. She had no telescopes, no mathematics, no ability to predict or prevent. We do. We can see the trajectories. We can calculate the probabilities. We can, if we choose, change course. The question is, will we? Or will some future species, 66 million years from now, dig up our fossilized cities and wonder why we didn't act when we had the chance? Scarface died alone on a frozen river, unable to understand what killed her world. We have no such excuse. We know what threatens us. We know what needs to change. The age of dinosaurs ended in fire and ice and darkness. But from that ending came a beginning. From the extinction of the giants came the rise of mammals. From mass death came the eventual emergence of consciousness, of intelligence, of beings capable of understanding their own existence. Scarface's death had meaning, though she never knew it. Her extinction made our existence possible. Now we must decide what meaning our existence will have. Will we be just another species that flourished briefly and disappeared? Or will we be the first species in Earth's history that saw the danger, understood the consequences, and chose differently? Life finds a way, yes. Life persists. Life adapts. But individual species, individual civilizations, those can end in a day. Remember Scarface. Remember her calf. Remember the moment when the sky fell and the world changed forever. And remember that we have something she never had. The ability to write our own ending. Use it wisely. The story of the dinosaurs is written in stone. The story of humanity is still being written. What will the rocks say about us 66 million years from now? That choice is ours to make, today.